So you finally left that toxic relationship. Or maybe you just left that partner that was not into you. Or maybe they left you. You are finally free from that toxic dynamic. The thing is that you still keep thinking about that person, and maybe you still attach to them mentally, physically, emotionally, energetically. And it's not that you are broken, or maybe you're incapable of healing. And it's not that you are unlovable. That's not true. Maybe you are trauma bonded. And what does that mean? People usually talk about releasing the trauma bond by leaving a person, and equals leaving a person or equals distance with healing when we are not meeting the right problem or the root problem. So you find yourself again in these push and pull dynamics. You find yourself in relationships that go up and down, or maybe you just find yourself always with unavailable partners. The thing again is that you are trauma bonded. And when we think about trauma bonded, we always, confuse it with toxic or very violent relationships. But what is violence first? Maybe there are tiny micro moments of micro violence. Or on another note, trauma bonding can be just by you meeting people that take you to a very deep level of drama or intensity, and then you confuse that intensity with intimacy, which are not the same. Or maybe you just always find persons that are not available or not open emotionally to you. A trauma bond is not just about being harmed by someone very violent. A trauma bond means when you keep repeating this intermittent repetition of the same issues. What are those issues? When I find myself in this intensity of love and hate, when I find myself in relationships that feel magnetic but chaotic. And I'm not saying just this in an academic perspective or maybe a psychological perspective or a spiritual perspective. This is more related as well with my personal experience. Of course, I have found myself in relationships that I was not able to let go of. I was also a long time ago in a relationship that which was not only toxic, but at the same time took out all of those dark parts from me. And that person reflected all of the feelings that I was not able to address at the moment. And even though I left that person, I still felt attached to him. And I did all what I could to be able to release that person, not only physically, but also I did a lot of rituals. I went to ayahuasca ceremonies. I went with different experts. I had different types of therapies. And even though I did all of that, all of my doings were not able to help me out to release the emotional resonance that I had within me. I even had this visualization in which I thought that guy was dead. And even though I felt that and I thought that, I was still thinking about him. My mind was still focused on the guy. And it can happen as well that you leave the person. Maybe you can be with another person and then you're limerent in terms that you keep checking their social media, limerent in terms that you keep repeating the cycle of finding people like different suits, but the same person energetically. So how have I been able to release that pattern that I had and was like learning about the trauma bonding? So a trauma bond is when you confuse or get mixed up in moments when you have emotional affection on one note and on another note you have emotional pain. So this also happens with our caregivers. We receive a lot of emotional affection, but on the other note, we also receive chaos. And then we keep addicted to this cycle in which we receive a lot of love from one hand or a lot of affection from one hand, and on the other hand, we received a lot of violence or a lot of unrequited love, or we received just pain. We became addicted to the relief of that pain that we received at the beginning. How to detect if we really have a trauma bonding? This is not only in relationships, as I was telling you, in which you find yourself again in those drama cycles, or maybe you find yourself that you cannot release that partner that keeps treating you bad. Or maybe you just keep attracting these partners that are not into you, or partners that are actually just not unequal to you. When you're trauma bonded, you keep repeating what I told you at the beginning, which is a felt resonance. Why so attractive, the chaos? Is it because, being excited in life is something that we're missing? Maybe the one that is missing all that excitement is your mind, but you are not your mind. The mind, which is in that mental plane, in that time based mentality, thinks always that something better comes up in the future when we are actually always in the present moment. So when the mind gets addicted to something different, the mind can only manifest something that it knows. Why the chaos is so attractive? Because it's more attractive than being responsible for the feelings of chaos that you have within yourself. Exactly. You attract a chaotic person because you have that chaos within you. Does it mean that you won't be able never to find a healthy relationship? From my experience of what I found, it is more about releasing the emotional pattern, the felt resonance that keep you repeating the same cycle. So if we take out the messenger and we stop thinking about the messenger being a person or being a situation in which we feel bad, in which we feel this aim to control, or maybe this aim to, I don't know, be protected or being nurtured by someone who is not available. We just feel this impulsiveness, or maybe we just feel impotent because we cannot get what we want. Probably if we go deep into that, we felt the same with our parents. So the exercise here is not only to detect, for example, if we keep repeating the same experiences with different people, maybe it's just the same person, different suits. Maybe you just keep minimizing what happened just because of the sake of enjoying it. Or maybe you just feel guilty for leaving them. You just can't detach even though there's nothing left. Or maybe you just really don't know that person that deep. Or maybe you lose yourself trying to keep them. The only way to remove that trauma bonding is by going deep into, let's say, a 7-year cycle in which you are going to let your emotional body to help you out. So when was the last time that you felt this same felt resonance within you? It doesn't have to be the same experience or something related, when you felt maybe this urge to control, or maybe you felt this need for someone to be right next to you. Maybe it was 7 years ago in another relationship. Don't ask yourself this mentally. Maybe you just have to ask yourself, when was the last time that I felt this felt resonance within me? And you can keep going back into your childhood. You can also ask yourself, who do I relate this pain with, mom or dad? Oh, you say mom, or you say dad. And it will allow you to feel the emotions that are related with this bonding that you have, that were developed when you were a kid. This is very important to start healing the trauma bond, because your nervous system is addicted to that impulsiveness that you developed when you were a kid, and your body is the one that's keeping the score. And you can do all of your effort to learn this mentally. You can learn everything related to this in psychology. The thing is that you have not been able to release the control of being in control by thinking about that person, because you are too scared of feeling what you really feel, which is, maybe you feel that you're unlovable. Maybe you feel that you're unworthy of love, that we were thinking, or we were just talking about it in the beginning. And I'm saying to you, it's not that you're unworthy of love, but you feel that. Maybe you feel that the only person who will be able to meet your needs and who will be able to rescue you is this new person you are with, or is that person that you left. You have put them into a place of your savior, and you have put yourself as well in a place of being the victim of this supposedly abuser. You allow yourself to abandon yourself and abandon your needs just for the sake of being supposedly rescued by another person. And you're even able to rescue other people instead of rescuing yourself. So the healing process, again, for this trauma bonding, is going to your core root, which is your emotional body, because there's no other way to do it. Even with therapists can ask you, oh, what you're feeling, and you reply mentally, oh, I feel this. But even if you say, oh, I feel this, doesn't mean that you're feeling it. The only way is to sit with your feelings, which is your emotional system, which is your nervous system, and re-educate it for it to believe that you're safe within your body. And there's no one else who can do this for you. There's no even one single person who can help you out release this. Only you, because the only person that know how to parent you and who will be able to know what you need is you. So yes, trauma bonding is just not about extreme traumas or extreme violence. Trauma bonding is when I keep being attached to a felt resonance that I haven't been able to meet because I'm so scared of meeting my needs. Let me know if this resonates with you. For any questions, you can contact me on my website, dianaisabelcarreazo.com, or in my Instagram, the School of Expansion, La Escuela de Expansión.